Would you agree? If more people hear your offer, you will make more money. Hey, it's your girl, Sherry Somerville, and welcome to Monetize Your Influence podcast. I truly believe if you said yes, if you really said yes, let me go ahead and I can hear myself doubling here. If you said yes to what I just said, it's a game changer. Hey, listen, if you're new to my space, welcome. I specialize in helping experts in their space monetize their influence without sacrificing their family time. And I started in the space of figuring out how can I transform my business in a way that feels healthy? Because every time I think about making more money, there is a hustle and a grind to it because you have to get more people to see what you do. And then the gurus is telling you that you need to be marketing, you need to be making sales call constantly be on the phone, constantly making sales calls. And when you do that, then you make money. Let me just go ahead and say this. They are right. They are right. 100% the more sales call you make, the better you get at sales calls, the better you will become. So I am not here to shift your hustle or change your hustle because they are right. However, here's the disclaimer. If you are constantly hustling and having a full calendar, that's not exactly healthy. Let me speak to that woman who's feeling like they're always on. Is that you feeling like in order for you to make money, you always have to go live and you always have to be in other people's DMs asking them, or they keeping that option open? You feeling like if you're not on all the time, your business and your revenue suffer. And if that's you, I am talking to you today because I'm pulling back the curtains and I am showing you how I transform my business. The one shift that free me, I mean, literally free me from having a packed calendar. And I'm still was able to increase my income without having that packed calendar. So super excited. Grab your Diva notebook, grab your diamond pen. We are going to be diving in right now because if you're new to my space, you may not know, but I grew my entire business using an iPhone 6. You heard that right. Going live using an iPhone 6. So I know that what it's like to always feeling like you have to be on. Either you're on social media or either you're constantly making sales calls because you feel like if you're not making these certain amount of calls, then you feel like there's not going to be any sales. And let me just say this again, disclaimer, sales calls work. It work? I am not here to tell you that it doesn't work. As a person who spent her time as an insurance agent for years, I know that sales calls work. Right? The problem, though, it didn't fit my capacity as a wife, as a mom, as a son who played competitive soccer. Like this week, just alone this week, he had soccer practice on Monday. Then he had it on Wednesday. And then he had this book project that he's working on from chapter 1 all the way to chapter 11. And then if that was not enough, we had soccer game 1 hour away from our house. That was on Saturday. Then we had another soccer game on Sunday. I also am the welcome person for my church and do the morning announcement for my church. So I had to go to church and then leave church and then go to competitive soccer in Orlando, which is like an hour away from our house. So when I say I know about always having to be on and be a mom and be a wife and do all and wear all the hats and run $1 million business, it is not easy. And I remember days when I used to have to leave my son's soccer game to go write a policy. And then when I get to the door or get there in person, the person said, well, it's not a good day today. And I'm thinking to myself, oh my goodness, I done left my son's soccer game to come write this policy. And you're telling me it's not a good day today. Trust me, I've been there. So I had to ask myself, number one, I knew if I was going through it, there are other women who are in business, not just not just service-based business, but any type of business, feeling like, listen, how can I still make money? Because money allow me to have options, allow me to build wealth, but how can I still make money, but figure out a way to still help others? And listen, I know the wheels are turning in your head right now because you probably can relate to some things I say. I kept thinking to myself, I did not leave a 9 to 5 to feel like this. I did not leave a 9 to 5 to feel like I was constantly at a mundane desk like this. My girlfriends used to call me and says, "Hey, Sherry, you want to go out to eat?" And I would literally look at my calendar, and it would be packed and filled with people. Now, let me just be clear, not because it's packed and filled with people, that does not mean that they're showing up. There's a big difference. People will get on your calendar and don't show up. If you ever relate to anything I said, make sure you put a 2 or 3 inside of the chat, because I have been there. That I have been there thinking like, man, I have a booked out calendar, and you waited and waited. So I used to have to tell my girlfriends, no, y'all can go on without me, because I constantly ran my business because I felt like sales calls were the only way to make money. I feel like it was the only way to make money. And I started figuring out, how do I shift that? How do I shift that? Because I'm like, listen, when you get in your 40 something years, we call it 40 something, you don't have the energy like you used to have, the capacity that you used to have. I am so grateful that I was able to discover how to go live and talk. But as I get older and I have kids, and I have a son who is also in the Marines, and there's other stuff going on, I want to live life, because life is living. So I realized what was going on is not that, it wasn't about I need more energy. Hear me clearly. It wasn't that I need more energy. What I needed was a better business model. I needed a better system. Oh, it's not that I needed more energy, because God knows I got that. But I needed a better, and you may be thinking about this, oh my gosh, sure, I just feel like I need more energy. Because yes, when you reach a certain age, baby, the energy is not like it used to be. So I learned it wasn't anything wrong with me. It wasn't that I wasn't passionate about my business. I know Ashton Hall going on about 3 a.m. in the morning. I'm a morning girl too. I can't lie. I love mornings. I love to get up early to beat the day, literally, especially me knowing I had this live video coming up. I needed to figure out a way to beat the day. So I am an early bird too, but I don't get up and do all that. I get up and talk to my God. I'm a God girl. How many God girls we got up in here? I am a God girl. I love to get up and have God set the atmosphere, put on my armor, which is reading my Bible, journaling, thinking about my day. Because once I get up in that type of mood, it set the energy for the atmosphere, for transformation to take place, right? It set the energy. So I went from, I want you to pay attention. I went from going live on my iPhone 6 and grow a 6-figure business, going live literally. And I love it. It was there for me for a long time. But as my son got active in his life, and as I became a married woman, I was like, okay, I got to keep this husband. As I became a married woman, my schedule shift, my passion for helping women expert never changed. Would never change. And let me tell you why. Let me just digress just a little bit. Let me tell you why. I have a girlfriend the other day, and we were talking, and we were having a deep conversation. And she was in a situation where she needed to leave. But she kept thinking about, well, this person is a provider. Even though I don't like the situation, they're a provider. And I said to her, I said, you are exactly why I do what I do. I believe my job is to help women become peaceful, powerful, and of course, plentiful. And I said, if you just learn how to create more cash flow, then your decision of saying yes to things that is not conforming to your soul will be different, because you're only staying in this relationship because you feel as if that you don't make enough money. So you have to put up with what you're doing. Now, that's my girlfriend, but it may be you too who feel like I got to put up with this job because I'm not creating cash flow. I got to put up with this relationship. I got to settle for this because I'm not making enough money inside of my life right now. And I gotta not ask for that raise because I don't want to ruffle any feathers. So whatever it is for you, yes, I'm talking to you. Whatever it is for you, you may be in the same situation my girlfriend. And I learned that God has ordained me to have women experts like yourself monetize your influence. I'm so glad to be pushing back the curtains because that was me. And when I transformed from starting in the insurance space and going live and all this stuff, was it profitable? Yes. But was it sustainable? No. Was it sustainable? No, but it taught me so much about myself. And getting up and then when I got into the insurance space, all I kept hearing is how many calls did you make? How many dials did you make? Did you dial enough numbers and all this stuff? I'm like, oh my God, who has time? My son, at that time, my son was in elementary school, so he was getting out at 2:30. My son get out at 2:30. I drop him off at 7, 8 o'clock. There's only a short window right there for me to make all these sales calls. Like, and door knocking was out of it because I'm not going to anybody's house after 7. So I feel like I was a rebel. I was such a rebel because I want to do anything these gurus in the financial space. And they made me feel like I was never going to be successful if I had to keep making sales calls. And if I wasn't making it, it made me feel bad. But truth of the matter is, let me just break this down. One of the things that financial professional, which is normally it's a masculine space. Whether you're in insurance, finance, or Medicare, real estate, all these places in these financial space, taxes, it's normally dominant by male, by male. And I went to a master, and I said I was not going to talk about this, but I went to a mastermind. And the gentleman that was speaking in the mastermind, he kept stressing how he gets up and he started dialing at 7:30, 8 o'clock. And I don't know what these FDC rules are, but anyway, he started dialing at 7 o'clock and he gets off at a certain time and you got to dial those calls and dial. And I kept feeling like, really? So of course, you know me, pick me. I'm going to pick me. I'm like, so, I asked him, I said, do you tell women to do this too? Because the playing field is not the same for women. The playing field is not the same for women in any service-based business because we want to grow a business. We want to get out there and hustle. Baby, I'm Jamaican and Chinese. You're not going to outwork me. So I know about the going out there and working, but I asked him that question because I know our busy schedule of doctor's appointments, teachers conference. My son is going to SeaWorld. I'm also volunteer his school. So I'm like, that doesn't work. And so it's not that. I want to make sure that you're clear. There's nothing wrong with you. If the sales are not where there needs to be, and you're saying that I'm tired of having a packed calendar, you're in the right space. You're truly in the right space. I'm gonna bust out my iPad right now, and we're gonna have a conversation of what transformed and what changed for me, and what the aha moment where I went from literally looking at my calendar and said, hey, I don't need more energy like I had in my 30s. I just need a better business model. And I'm going to transform my calendar. We're going to switch to my calendar right now. I'm going to show you what I mean by that. Let me make sure that I can write, because make sure I want to transform my calendar. When I started transforming my calendar just started showing me that it wasn't me. It was not me. And no, I did not need to do all the things, but I needed to kind of look at things in a different manner. So let me go ahead and pull up my calendar so you can see. Hold on. Let me go here and hit new. All right. Let me move over to my calendar so you can, let me move over to my iPad so you can see it as well. Okay. So when I started in this space, the first thing that people would say to me, you need to make all these calls. So I just want you to understand. So you may have, let's say you may have let's do 10 calls today. So you may have about 10 calls. Yeah. So let's say you have 20 calls scheduled on your calendar. You have 20 calls scheduled on your calendar. What is going on here? Right here. You have 20 calls scheduled on your calendar. So on that 20 calls that you have scheduled on your calendar, can you see it? Let me see if it's coming up. 20 calls scheduled on your calendar. On that calendar, let me make sure that you're plugged in because I'm writing, but I don't see if you guys get it. All right, so you can go with me with your tasks. You may have, again, 20 calls scheduled on your calendar. And on that 20 calls that you have, inside of that space, oh, there we go. There we go. There we go. See, technology, okay? All right. So you market your business so well, and now you got 20 calls on your calendar. Kudos to you. You got 20 calls. In that 20 calls that you have on your calendar, because that's just that they're booked. They're booked on your calendar. That don't mean they're coming, right? So out of that 20, I'm going to say 50%. 50% is going to say, okay, I'm going to confirm that I'm going to literally show up, right? So let's say 50%. I'm giving you a big number. Out of that 50% of that 20, they show up. 10 people said yes. Yeah, that's a good number. But out of that 50% of people, you close 4 of those people, right? 4. So you close 4 of those people out of that 50%. That's closed. That looks good, right? You got 20%. And then 10 people showed up from your call and you closed 4 of those people. Now, let's say you were selling something for $1,000. So 4 people that you close times 1,000 equals 4,000, small numbers. So you just made $4,000. Right? Let's celebrate. Okay. So that looks good. 24,000 people. 20 people came to your call, book a call with you. 10 people, 10 sits. That's what we're going to call it. Sit down on Zoom and talk with you or over your phone, however you close. But then 4 people, 4 times 1,000, right? 4 people said yes. So that's 1,000. That's $4,000. Now it looks good, but how much time did you really spend with these people? Because even though 4 people said yes, you spent time preparing for 20 people. So you allocate your time, as in, if each person was an hour call, you've allocated 20 hours preparing for those people. Even if they say yes or no, you've allocated 20 hours preparing for those people for that week. Because you got to prep, you know what I mean? You got to prep, you got to prepare for them. So in that 20 hours, it may seem as if, because even though they say, oh, you may call them, they don't show up, all the things, Jesus, all the things, okay? Yeah, or they ghost you, they don't show up to the call. So this whole time you're feeling like, man, I prepared for you. I could have been out with my girlfriend having brunch, but I prepared for you. I sat at home at my desk preparing for you, and you canceled or you rescheduled. And we know life happens. Life be life, and we get it. So one of the things I said to myself is, I can't keep giving up these 20 hours all the time. I just can't keep doing that because time is precious. And I'm sitting there waiting on a call and it's not coming. And yes, it's great that 10 people showed up, but I've been waiting on these calls and it did not come in. What if, and the 10 people that show up, I end up saying the same thing to them over and over and over again. I kept pitching, like in the DM, the same script. That's a whole other story. I have another video on that. The same script all over. But what if I could take those same 10 people right here, and what if I could say the same thing to them, me saying the same thing to them all at once, and still close those 4 people? So many people, all just me once, saying the same words, hearing the same words all at once, and I'm still closing 4, and I'm still making my 4,000. How long would that take? How long would that take? So now, and if I'm doing this over and over, it's already set it up once. It's easier for me to what I call run the play. So what I realized, I could give up my 20 hours and deliver the same message to my people one day in a 2-day or 3-day challenge, and give up the same information one time and still close the same amount of people. They all hear the same information all at once. And that's when life transformed for me. That's when I realized, hold up. These people I didn't need more hustle. I just needed more people to hear my offer. And when I realized that I just needed more people to hear my offer, and if I run that same play over and over again, and the play would be already set up for me, what would I imagine what you would do with the 20 hours that you get back? What would you do? Would you be able to have that brunch with your girlfriend? Would you be able to do more marketing, do more reels to drive more sales? Would you be able to speak on stage? Would you be able to host an event? Would you be able to travel? Would you be able to have some more self-care, get your nails and toes and everything done? Because, baby, when I go to get my nails and toes and all that jazz done, I do that. I do that in around Mondays and Tuesdays. Yes, and because it's empty, there's nobody there. Because I have designed what I call my freedom. I have designed something that gives me more freedom. And because I have designed something that gives me more freedom, I'm able to spend more time. I'm able and creating what we call a my earpiece is about to fall out. My one to many. Talking one time to many people. That transformed my life. Not just my life, but my client's life. Why? Because there's something called communal reinforcement that people like groups. There's a research that was done that people like to be in groups, that be around like-minded people. That's why we go to conferences. That's why we go to events, because people love like-minded people, love groups. They like things in activity. So I'm a soccer mom, so I have a soccer mom group. I have a soccer mom group. I like my church. I have church groups and all of that. So that's when I discover, what if I host a challenge and give that same information each day, give that same information I was given on the phone each day, and talk to those same people one time with the same information, and empower them to get the information, get them to say yes, empower them to say yes or no to my offer. But guess what? I did not waste time waiting on people who's not going to show up. Now, this transformed my life. Seeing this transform my life, and it transform my client's life who apply this methodology. So you don't need more energy. You just need a better business model. And discovering these better business model was able to help me identify what I need to do. Now, instead of spending time trying to take sales call, I just create a challenge model. That's amazing. Yes, that is so amazing. And when I discovered how to do that, I discovered that my time was better. I had more time for my family. And I don't feel like I was on this rat race all the time trying to talk to strangers or get in a stranger's DM. Are you keeping your option open? No. So how did I do this? Well, before I go any further, I have a guide that can help you, show you how to attract 100 plus leads using a 5-day challenge is definitely inside of the description or in the show notes. And all you have to do is grab that and download that, and it will show you step by step. But one of the things that we do, we help. First of all, you have to identify what is your offer, what is that problem you solve, what are the things you're selling, right? And then along with that offer, we also create what we call, what is the theme, what is the thing, what is the purpose of us hosting this challenge? Is it to get more visibility? Because it's not always about making sales. It could be increasing your visibility, increasing your email list, which is a big one, a big one. Increasing your email list. And when we were able to do this, like, okay, I'm going to host a challenge because not enough people know me, not enough people know my offer, and just hosting a challenge and marketing that challenge, oh my gosh, transform my business in a big and mighty way. Because not just give me my freedom back, but it also opened up opportunity for me to be able to do something I love to do. Speak. Because that visibility allowed me to be able to become a better speaker. So if you want to know how to do this, make sure you grab our how to attract 100 leads in 30 days using a 5-day challenge. The link is below. Just grab that because it walk you through step day 1, day 2, day 3, day 4. So that was my gift for you tuning in today. It's right inside the description. So what does that look like after you do that? What does that look like when you move from sales call and booked out calendar and all of this stuff where you're constantly sitting at a desk talking to strangers who did not ask you to call? That's a whole other story, because I have dealt with that inside the insurance space. They did not actually, there's so much rules and laws and buying expensive leads with money you already don't have. So when I learned the power of challenges, let me tell you what happened. I become a better transformation speaker because I knew how to speak to my target audience. Number 2, my email list got increased, right? My email list went from 0 to 2,000 in 90 days because I was running a challenge, literally. And then after that, it just started increasing. And can I share this secret with you? I ran this methodology for 2 years straight. For 2 years, I ditched the sales call and I started creating one-to-many method, whether it's a conference and all these other stuff that I've done, but mainly that has transformed my business. Why do you think Russell Brunson, Myron Golden, and all these big name people, Lisa Nichols that you admire, running challenges? Because that is how they're able to create freedom to do something once and sell to the masses and take back their time. And that has been a game changer. I have spent my entire time teaching my clients, and now you, how to do this. I have spent the whole time trying to teach my clients on how to do this. So make sure you grab the free guide below if this is something that you're thinking about doing, because you want to get your freedom back. And I'm all about getting that freedom back, baby. I'm all about getting that freedom back. So now I used to run a challenge once a month, and this month we have something amazing going on behind the scenes that we're not ready to pull out yet, but you should be seeing in a few weeks. So we did not run a challenge, but for 2 years straight. Now, what is the results of that, Sherry? You're talking about the freedom, you're talking about the impact, you're talking about all this stuff, but what is the takeaway from that? From the takeaway, I was able to build a $1 million portfolio. What does that look like? Having real estate, having stocks, and having high interest savings account and CDs and all this wealth building things that I have, all came from me learning how to run a challenge, not sales call. I have not took a sales call in 2 years, 3 years, 3 years. I have not did a sales call in 3 years. And that's exactly why the challenge Selling one to many has transformed my life, and it will transfer in your business too. Hey, we're getting ready to wrap up. But again, make sure you grab the free guide. This is my gift to you tuning in today. Make sure you grab the free guide. And if this is something you are having challenge with, grab the guide, then send me an email or reach me out on Instagram and just saying, Sherry, this resonated with me because I've been trying to figure out a way how to stop buying all these expensive leads. I've been trying to figure out a way how to stop being at my desk every day. Because baby, that was me. That was me. And I want to be able to, I have something, I have a gift, I have an expertise. I know I can host an event. I know I can do a masterclass. I know I can do a challenge. If that is you, go ahead. Don't hesitate. Go ahead and reach out. But in the meantime, in between time, I want you to know that you have a gift and there's somebody out there that's looking for you, and greatness is not built in isolation. So do not isolate yourself. You're not playing small. I promise you. Everybody like, oh, you're playing too small. You may be, but I don't think you're playing small. I think what it is you're just afraid of success, because success comes with responsibility. And if I get too big, then what? So I don't think you're playing small. I think you're playing safe. And this is not the season to play safe. I'm talking to myself too. It's time to go big and be recognized for who you are as the expert, the go-to expert in your space. So it's not just about playing small. I think you're trying to play safe, baby girl. And safe don't get you the desire of your heart. Safe don't allow you to impact the people you're called to impact, right? You're called to impact nations and empires. And you can't do that by playing it safe. I remember Alex Hormozy, he said, I lost 10,000 to make 100,000. I lost 100,000 to make 1,000,000. So playing small don't work. All right. So listen, also, I want to make sure that you know that we give you a live, I'll give you a live podcast, something like this, on Tuesdays and Wednesdays. So make sure that you're tuned in to our podcast as well. All right. That's all I got for you. It's your girl, Sherry Summer Bell. Talk to you soon. Have an amazing day.